I'm out for my little walk, you know, and I was thinking about some stuff today, and thing crossed my mind. Well, it was a whole idea, it's a whole thing um, about like how I feel like we are better, obviously, together than we are apart. I feel like the world at large and the world on a just a regular level in your day to day, I feel like we are better together than we are separate. And I feel like we, I don't know, I feel like as people, we'd work together better as a team if everybody would respect you, boo boo. If everybody would respect everybody's gifts and talents, if everybody would respect, uh, if everybody would respect everybody's, strengths and stop forcing people to be what they are not to fit into your idea of what you think something looks like. You know what I mean? Like, there's not one way to be an activist. There's not one way to run a business. There's not one way to be in a relationship. There's not one way to do anything. The way that is best is the one that works for everyone who is involved. I feel like sometimes we'll be like, oh, this team sucks, or this didn't work out because I didn't have the right people. And it's like sometimes you do have the right people, you just don't have the right eye. Instead of looking at it as like, okay, this person, let's say, we work at a fast food restaurant. This person is really good on fries. This person is really good at flipping burgers. These three people are really good at running the front counter. Instead of and then maybe you have another person who does burgers and fries, like they're versed. They do both of those very well. Instead of it like letting each person play their part, oftentimes we'll be like, oh, I don't say will. Sometimes people will be like, look at it as like, oh no, I want a team that everybody's good at everything. And it's like, I mean, cool, you could do that. There's nothing wrong with you feeling that way. But just because that's what you want and this team doesn't give you that doesn't mean that this team is not an effective team. It's just not compromising what you feel like a team should be. And because you don't see it that way, you cast them aside, or you devalue, their efforts because it's not what you want. And then say like, you get rid of that cast. You have people, you get rid of that crew of people, and let's say that crew of people go and work at another restaurant, another establishment. Now all of a sudden you see that new restaurant or that establishment that they go to work at is booming, and you're like, oh, they were different with me. They didn't want to work. They weren't, you tell whatever story of it or whatever you want to say, but the reality is it's not that these people didn't work. It's not that they weren't a good team. You couldn't see them as such because you were viewing them through the eyes of what you feel like a good team should be. They were always a good team. They always had the right stuff. And I just feel like in life, in the world at large, I think we all have the right stuff. It's just about each of us, once again, respecting the part that each person plays and stop forcing them to be something that they're not. Once again, based on your view. I also feel like we are way more alike than we are different as humans. But our inability to look at our own reflection sometimes makes it to where we can't see it that way because our ego wants to feel important. So let's say some people, like, you'd be like, you got to look at yourself, you got to look at your reflection, and then that's how you will see that you are in each person. Every person is in you. We're walking reflections of each other. Some people will hear that and they will listen to that with their ego. They would go into the situation looking at themselves with the goal of how much they're different. They're not going in it with an objective eye. They're going into it with a subjective eye. They're going in it to make a point. So they may be like, no, well, I did look at my reflection and I feel like I'm different than this person. It's like, You looked at your reflection through your mindset, through your opinion, through whatever you felt like you wanted the outcome to be. But it's like if you looked at it through an objective eye and you take your feelings out of it, you look at yourself, you look at your reflection, like I said, with an objective eye, then you look at others with an objective eye, and you start to compare, like, dang, I've been through this, and this person went through this, and it made them act this way, and it made, it's like you will see the similarities if you're open enough to do so. And I feel like I said, I don't know. Ooh, that's loud. Lost my train of thought. But yeah, like I feel like we are more alike than, like I said, not in so many ways. And I feel like we're also hypocrites. Your inability to see yourself in others mixed with your hypocrisy allows people to create certain narratives or certain rules for others and standards for others that they will never live up to themselves. Like there's some people who be like, man, that girl is thick. She got body. She dressed a certain way. She deserved to get ran on. You know what I mean? She deserved to get raped or treated a certain way. Raped or treated a certain way. But it's like, okay, you can see it that way when it comes to her, because in that situation, you're the person in power and, your ego makes you feel superior. But like, if we're living by your own narrative, by your own rules, you feel like she deserves for her boundaries to be crossed because she has something in abundance and she is sharing what she has in abundance. She's showing what she has in abundance. Okay, so if we're thinking in terms of that, then it's like, okay, well, you have an abundance of money. So if she had an abundance of body and she dressed a certain way, you feel like she deserved for her boundaries to get crossed, and you have an abundance of money, then that means you deserve to get robbed. Correct? Like, you deserve to get taken from too. And then all of a sudden now it's like, oh no, it's not the same. And you'll have a person backpedal, or they'll just be quiet altogether. They'll still feel how they feel, but they'll realize like, dang, yeah, you got a point, but they don't want to admit that you have a point. So they'll just be all, like I said, they'll be quiet altogether sometime. But it's like, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. Like I said, things could be so much better between, like I said, even in your day-to-day, if that's just you and your household, or like I said, if it's in the world at large. I feel like we could be so much better as a collective of humans. I feel like we could be so much better. I feel like this world could look, I thought that was roadkill, my bad, guys. I just feel like as a team, we could be working together so much more efficiently. And once again, our inability to be able to look at our own reflections, our inability to take accountability, our hypocrisy, and like I said, our inability also to be balanced. Because I feel like when I mentioned looking at things from an objective eye and subjective eye, I feel like we need a balance of both. I'm not saying that one should be without the other. Some things you do need to see with eyes of compassion, or you won't tend to a thing the way that it needs to be, or the way that it should be, because you're looking at it just like, no, it's this or that and whatever, and then there are situations where it's like, bro, your emotions are clouding your judgment. So, excuse me. So I feel like both, deserve a position. I feel like it's about balance. It is not about like one way or the other. And that's another thing, like, I guess what I was trying to also say in the beginning of the video is that you have to have the ability to see things as is, but also be able to, like, I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought. I was trying to, it tied together, and I'm kind of like losing it right now, which is annoying, but I'm getting out and I'm trying to pump out as much as I can remember or think to say. But yeah, I don't know. I just see how we operate as humans. And I mean, there's no amount of seeing how things are no amount of maturity, no amount of healing or evolution that I feel like that you can experience on this earth that will ever erase your humanity. Like, I'm every bit of righteous as I am ratchet. You feel me? Like, I'm all the shades of the rainbow. Now, granted, there are some people in the world that are more of one color than they are of the other colors in the rainbow. But I feel like we all have different sides to us as well. And I don't know. I feel like growth and all that stuff is not about erasure or anything of that sort. Of like, well, in order for me to be a good person, I gotta erase all my bad. Or in order for me to be a bad person, I gotta erase all my good. I feel like everything plays together. And that's, I guess, the overall thing. Is that I feel like, once again, like I think I did mention, is that we all have the right stuff. It's just about respecting what we have. Us respecting what we have, others respecting what we have, and then each of us playing our part, you know? I feel like also, like, you gotta be, I don't know, strategic to be a good team, you know? Like I said, sometimes people be judging people like, oh, well, if they don't show up in a certain way, they feel like they're not showing up at all. That's not true. Oh, you don't post this, or you didn't go to these events, so you're not for the cause. But that's not true. Like, they might just be doing it in another way. You know, what about resources that we may need? Well, if this person got the money, then this person could help, you know, fund the resource aspect of it to keep this thing going. The next person is tech savvy. They can create a website. But, you know, like, each person plays their position. But if you're over here judging people based on your idea, once again, in your definition of whatever that thing is, in this case, activism is my example I'm using, then you'll never see, like, you'll never see things as they are or how they could be, and things won't ever be able to be more. Not because they're not actually something that could happen. It's because, once again, you're stuck in your idea and your definition of what you think that thing should be. I just don't feel like it's smart for everybody to be trying to force everybody to play the same position, because you need people in all different areas and facets so that everything could be covered. But if everybody is in one place, then you have a whole area that's not getting covered. And it's, once again, it's not because you don't have what it takes to have that full coverage. It's because you see it from your view of what it should be, you know? Boo-boo. But like, you know, for example, like I said, activism. You know, you got some people who are like, I don't know, you're saying, let's say you show up to the event and your thought process is like, everybody should be on the front line. So you put your whole team on the front line. Then you only have one move, and that's like makes you an easy target, because everybody that you have is out here. So all we got to do is come up with a way to take out all your people, which people are smart. Humans are smart. So it's like, okay, let's get some drones, let's get some helicopters, let's get some weapons, and we're going to take them all out. It's easy, it's simple, it's nothing. Wherein if you be strategic and you respect everybody's gifts and talents, then you realize, okay, we're going to have our frontliners, people who have strengths of being on the front lines, they have history, this is what they do. We're going to have a certain group of people on the front lines. Then, you know, if somebody tries to go at our front runners, we got a person on top of the building across the street who could, you know what I mean, take out somebody if they need to. Then you got people infiltrating the office, you know, so then you got people inside the building as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I hope that makes sense, but it's just like, you would miss out, or it wouldn't even be smart for you to make everybody play the same role, because once again, depending on what your goal is, you become an easy target. You become a team that is easy to take down, regardless of what setting that you want to apply this to. So, you know, once again, I'm going to try to end it. I don't know. I think this is going to be the end of the video, but I'm going to try to end it where I started it. We are better together than we are apart. Forgot the other one. Which, oh, I forgot the other thing I said. I wanted to tie it in. I was about to like spit that hot fire to y'all. You know what I mean? I was about to do like a full circle, a callback, if you will. But you know what I said because I said it in this video, even if I can't remember it right now in real time. But yeah, man, everybody respect each other. We can be such a more efficient team. We can get so many more things done if everybody respects the positions that each of us plays and lets us play it. You know what I mean? So, anywho, that's what I had to say today. Oh, this is my middle mark or mid mark. I told you in one of my previous videos that my goal was to do a video a week for a year, which would total to 52 videos. And I'm at 26. This video will be video 26. And I wanted to do something special, something different. But I didn't know how I would feel. I have to go by my moods. I will be consistent, but I have to go by my moods as far as what ideas come to me and what I want to do when, you know, they arise. But like I said, this is my mid mark. This is my 26th video, which means I have 26 more videos to go. And I initially had recorded a video a couple of days ago, and I was doing that video in my kitchen and I was all excited, like, yeah, you know, I just kind of move around and record in different areas, and that will help me to get more comfortable, and so the ideas that I have in here will come out more because now I'm getting comfortable in all settings and blah blah blah, and it can bring about different inspiration, blah blah blah. Bruh, tell me why I was so hurt. But then it was like, you got to bounce back. Like I told you for the first time in my life, which I said in the beginning when I was posting my videos, I've said through and through, my usual way is like, oh, adversity. I don't do adversity. I don't. You might get 1 or 2 shots out of me, and then I'm done with that. But I'm not doing it no more. But because since I've been recording these videos, it has been highlighting that in my life. And it has been encouraging me in my day-to-day, be like, no, an obstacle comes up, that's going to be life. You got to learn how to navigate those things. You cannot give up every time. You cannot be so easy. You know what I mean? Put up a fight. So I was very upset about the video, but I didn't let it get to me. But anyways, y'all, I didn't realize for whatever reason that day my phone was tripping. Usually if I turn the phone a different way, then the camera will adjust. Well, that day it didn't. I turned the phone the other way because I felt like I was looking more at one side of the phone than the other, and I wanted to look into the camera. So I was like, whatever position the camera needs to be in for me to look directly into the camera, that's where I wanted to be. So I twisted it with the hopes of doing that. Any other time my phone would adjust, it did not adjust. So the video was recorded upside down. Oh man, I was so hurt, but I was also grateful because I discovered that in the same day I recorded it, even though it was maybe an hour or so later. I'm glad that I discovered that because I do pre-record my videos. So then I would have got, and then I post them on Monday. So then I would have got to this Monday and I would have been ready to post a video. Like, you know, I did what I needed to do, whoop-de-woo, and it would have been upside down. And then I would have really been pissed because then it would have messed up my whole little schedule that I've been trying to have. So as much as it irritated me, it was a blessing in disguise. And it gave me an option to like, hey, how you want to push through this? And I didn't know how I was going to do it because I was like, I'm kind of discouraged, man. And I didn't want to be in the house, or that's not what I meant. I didn't want to be in the same place I record, which is usually in my room. So I was excited and the energy in that video was great. And but it gave me the opportunity to try again. And I was scared because, like I said, once that happened, I was like, I don't know how my energy is going to be from day to day, and I don't know if I'm going to have it in me to want to record. And like I said, I did want to do it in a different environment. I don't know if I'm going to feel like it, because yesterday I was actually going to do it and come outside, and I woke up and I was like, no, I'm good. So I just didn't see how that was going to work, but it did. And so, like I said, it gave me the opportunity to keep pushing. And yeah, now I'm being rewarded. Now I know today this video is gonna be cool. Now, oh Lord, I gotta see how the volume's gonna be because I don't know about that. Bruh, this is about to be, well, it is a 20-minute video. It'll probably be a little bit longer. If it if the volume's not working or something weird, or because I tried to place the mic somewhere where it was like close to my mouth but not like directly, you know, in my mouth, because I'm walking and my chin moves and stuff, so I didn't want my face to be, I didn't want the camera to be in a place where the mic, oh my god, I'm sorry guys, where the mic is rubbing my skin, so then you hear, you know. So hopefully it works, but I don't know, man. Like I'm talking all that obstacle talk or whatever, but I'm trying to tell you now, bruh, if I because I like to watch my videos back, and that's what helped me to realize I had did what I did yesterday or the day before or whatever. But if I watch that video back and this video back, I mean, and it ain't, if something's wrong, hey man, you could go ahead and scratch that. You go ahead and scratch everything I said, because this week, you know what I mean, the battle was not mine. Well, that's not what I meant to say. This week the battle won. I didn't win the battle or the war, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So if this is jacked up and it's one of my longer videos, forget about it. You'll never hear about it. I don't care. Now, if there is any issues with it, oh my god, my eyes are running. This is crazy. It's cold outside. But if there was like a little minor thing, you know, but the audio quality was good enough or whatever, I still recorded. But if it's something where it's like really jacked up, fuck it. You know what I mean? Forget about it. You'll never see this video. It'll never reach the light of day. So anyways, we're gonna see, because now it's in my brain. I'm like, oh Lord, I don't want to keep recording a video if I did do that. So with that being said, I'm a skedaddle. But I got nothing but love for you, baby. And I hope that this video definitely finds you guys in perfect peace. You know what I mean? Or if you weren't in perfect peace, that maybe watching this video will bring a little light, joy, or peace to your day. You feel me? Anywho, nose is running. Ooh, I'm fighting for my life. But anywho, I love y'all. Y'all take care. See you next week. Yeah. Bye.